Welcome friends, once again. It's 12th May 2020 and we are on the verge of beginning question 3 of our Advanced Accounting Holding Company leaflet. This is the question. This question has been asked in CA final exam for full-fledged 16 marks. So let's start the same. The following are the summarized balance sheet of X and Y as on 31st December 97. My friends, analyze. For the first time, now it's a calendar year. It is almost easier than that of what we used to do in taking financial year as an accounting year. Here the calendar year is accounting year. Authorized, issued and paid up share capital, equity shares of rupees 10 each, 8 lakhs and 4 lakhs. 12% preference as of 10 each, dash and 2 lakhs only in Y. General reserve 3,60,000 and 2 lakhs. P&L account balance 240 and 140. Closing P&L and general reserve, please analyze. Closing general reserve is 2 lakhs and closing P&L is 140. 10% debentures of 100 issued by Y, 50,000. Proposed dividend, this is nowadays known as a dividend payable. So be it called proposed dividend or dividend payable, it is nothing but a dividend for the year 97 declared by the company on 31st December 97. That means before completion of the accounting year, the dividend has been declared for the current year. Once again, friends, it's a dividend which has been declared before completion of accounting year. That is on the last day of the accounting year, the dividend has been declared by board of directors. And so it is there in the balance sheet. It is 1,20,000 and 60,000 on equity. On preference, it is only for Y Limited, 24,000. Obviously, in preference, the dividend will remain fixed. The amount of preference share capital is 2 lakhs and rate of preference dividend is 12%. So it's 24,000. Debenture interest accrued, that means payable, 5,000 by Y. Trade creditors, 4 lakh 10 in X and 210 in Y. Fixed assets, 10, 15 and 889. Investments, 30,000 equity shares bought for 4.5 lakh cost of investment. If you analyze, out of 40,000 equity shares issued by Y, X Limited holds 30,000. So the pattern of holding is in equity is like this. X holds 75% equity of Y and 25% of the equity of Y is being held by minority shareholders. Then out of 20,000 preference shares issued by Y, if you analyze, because each share is of rupees 10 and preference share capital is 2 lakhs. So 20,000 preference shares issued by Y, 15,000 preference shares are held by X. So in preference, X holds 75% stake, whereas 25% stake in preference is being held by outside shareholders, who are called minorities interest in that case also. So I hope, friends, all of you have got both in equity as well as in preference. X holds 75% stake in Y and 25% stake is being held by minorities. Please analyze once again. Out of 40,000 shares issued by Y, because Y's equity share capital is 4 lakhs and each share is of rupees 10. So out of 40,000 equity shares issued by Y, 30,000 shares are acquired by X. So it comes to 75% holding and 25% are outside shareholders in Y, who are called here minorities interest. Whereas in case of preference, if you analyze, 2 lakhs is the amount of preference share capital and 10 rupees per share face value. And so there are 20,000 preferences which are outstanding, out of which 15,000 shares are held by X. So in preference also, X holds 75% stake and 25% stake is being held by outside shareholders who are called minorities interest. At the same time, X has invested in 250 debentures, 250 numbers of debentures, and debentures are having interest rate of 10%. And this investment has been made at face value only. This investment has been made at a face value of rupees 25,000. And so please, if you analyze properly, that out of total 50,000 debentures, over here you can view, see, out of total 50,000 debentures, here it's like this, see, 50,000 rupees debenture out of overall 500 debentures issued by Y. 500 debentures issued by Y, 250 debentures are held by X, and that is at face value. So over here in debenture, X has not incurred any loss or has not made any gain. Okay, only these debentures will be taken at intercompany owings, and at the time when we prepare consolidated balance sheet, the debentures of Y of 10% shall be shown in consolidated balance sheet at 50,000 minus 25,000 in held by X, and so the net debenture to be shown in consolidated balance sheet figure amount is rupees 25,000. Next is dividend payable, that is proposed dividend. Again, I should remind you that these dividends have been declared by subsidiary and holding both X and Y Limited both have declared this dividend on 31st December 97. This dividend has been declared both by holding as well as subsidiary as on 31st December 97. These dividends have been declared by board of directors of both the companies before completion of current accounting year. Please, 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 I keep on repeating this thing, and please keep it in your mind. So equity dividend is by X 120 and by Y 60. Preference dividend by X nil, because X has not issued preferences, whereas Y has issued preferences of rupees 2 lakhs carrying dividend at the rate 12%, so it's going to be obviously 24. And outstanding debenture interest for the year is 5,000. Okay. Trade creditors are 410 and 210. That we have seen already. Sorry. Once again, I was just repeating, like Chakli would refer in the same way Hathi would refer. Then here also fixed assets we have seen 10, 15, 889, 30,000 equity shares, so 75% stake, 4.5 lakh, 15,000 preferences, 1 lakh 80,000. That is also 75% stake. Please remember, it is not necessary that holding company holds similar stake always in equity as well as preference, or there is no mandatory requirement that if holding company acquires 75% in equity, then he must acquire 75% in preference. Kindly listen. If and only if holding company holds stake only in equity to the extent of 75% and nil stake in preference, 0% in preference, then in that case 100% of preference shares will become minority interest, because preference shareholders do not have right to vote in general meetings. And that's why, you know, in that case, whole preference share capital as well as preference dividend payable, that means 2 lakhs plus 24,000, total 2 lakh 24,000 will become minorities interest. So it may be possible that X Limited holds 75% in equity and 0% in preference. If such thing has been given in the question, then what you are supposed to do, you will prepare the chart of equity in a usual way, and whole preference share capital but plus whole preference dividend payable, that is proposed preference dividend for the current year, whole 224 will go to minority interest. That will be added in the minority interest of equity. And so it is not at all necessary that holding company must acquire same stake in equity as well as preference. It may acquire varying stake, or it may acquire only stake in equity and no stake in preference. To make any company as your subsidiary company, you only need to invest more than 50% in equity of that company. An investor, if holds more than 50% in equity of investee, then the investee company will become subsidiary. Even if investee company has issued preference and holding company, that means investor company has not at all acquired preference, but investor company has acquired more than 50% of the equity of investee, then also investee will become subsidiary. If investor only acquires more than 50% in equity and 0% in preference of investee company, still the investor company will become holding and investee company will become subsidiary. It is not at all mandatory that you must invest in preferences, or sometimes people may interpret because whatever sums that we have taken till date, There may be a common interpretation in the mind of students that the investor company must acquire similar stake in both equity as well as preference. No, it's illusion. It is not mandatory. It is not compulsory. It is not necessary. Holding company does not need to invest similar stake in both. Holding company, it is sufficient that holding company holds more than 50% in equity of subsidiary, and and let me use the word investor company needs to invest more than 50% in investee company, and in that case automatically the investee company will become the subsidiary. Even if the investor holds nothing in preference of investee company, still only by holding more than 50% of equity of investee company, investor will become its holding. Only by holding more than 50% of equity of investee company, investor will become its holding company. And if investee company has issued preference and investor company has not at all invested in single preference shares, still the whole preference share capital will be treated as a minority interest. The whole preference dividend payable or proposed preference dividend, as the name may be given in the balance sheet of the question, will become a minority interest, and the combined minority interest of preference share capital as well as preference dividend payable shall be added in the minority interest of equity, and the total accumulated minority interest shall go to consolidated balance sheet. I hope that all of you have now got it properly. Now next, current assets are given, without naming, and so I'll assume over here that current assets are trade receivables. That will be my assumption because of one specific reason that I'll later on explain. But otherwise it's not necessary to make Orijori, Paper Pan, Sare Paidu, trade receivable or inventory nam. It is not at all necessary, okay? So even if you can show it as a current assets are 260 and 4 lakhs. Okay, now let us move, friends, with other details. Come on. I hope that all of you have understood the balance sheet properly. Okay, and if you don't have the leaflet in front of you, if you don't have the spiral, if the spiral is at hostel, then also I'll manage on day in day out basis that I'll keep the leaflet in front of you, and if you want I can also send it to you in WhatsApp. Okay, so whoever wants this leaflet in soft copy, just do let me know, I'll send it to you. So don't worry about that if the spiral is not available. Yeah, so this is the balance sheet. Now let me read the other details. Okay, here see what happens. X Limited acquired its interest in Y on 1st January. It's a first day acquisition case. The balance sheet, see, analyze the individual balance sheet are as on 31st December 97. When the balance to the general reserve of Y was rupees 1,80,000. Chalo, aapit didu cha apan. Balance as to the general reserve of Y was rupees 180. And closing balance of GR is 2 lakhs. Analyze over here. So closing balance of GR is rupees 2 lakhs, and that's why here 20,000 is the transfer to GR during the year. Now please read this portion carefully. The balance to the P&L account of Y as on 31st December 97 was arrived at as under. Balance on 1197, that is opening P&L 40,000 plus current profit including current year dividend, that is 2,04,000. That is total comes to 244. Out of that they have transferred to general reserve 20,000, that we have just analyzed, and then they have made a proposed dividend provision. See, 84. Let us again analyze back. Is the proposed dividend is 84,000? Please analyze over here. The proposed dividend of Y, is it 84? Proposed equity dividend is 60 plus proposed preference dividend is 24. So total comes to over here, if you analyze, total comes to 84. And so please analyze, the 40,000 is the carried forward balance from the year 96. It's an opening balance. Plus during the whole year 97, company Y Limited made a profit of rupees 2,04,000. During the whole year of 97, Y Limited made a profit of 2,04,000. So the total accumulated profit, opening balance plus current year profit, comes to 244. But now analyze, Y Limited has transferred to GR as well as Y Limited has proposed dividend not from 40,000, please. Y Limited has made a transfer to GR, and well, at the same time Y Limited has made a proposed dividend from this 2,04,000. So now deduct this thing 2,04,000, please have a calculator with you. 2,04,000 minus 20 minus 84, so it comes to 2,04,000 minus 20 minus 84, so it comes to 1 lakh, my friends. It comes to 1 lakh. It means, can we say the 1 lakh is the final profit carried forward from P&L appropriation account to balance sheet? See, 40,000 is the opening balance of P&L. 40,000 is the opening balance of P&L. Please analyze. 40,000 is the opening balance of P&L plus 2,04,000 current profit. Out of this 2,04,000, transfer to general reserve is 20,000. Out of this 2,04,000, dividend have been proposed on 31st December 97 to the extent of 84. That also you can view over here. Why 84? Because Y Limited's proposed equity dividend is 60 and Y Limited's proposed preference dividend is 24. So 84. So these three things rather. 2,04,000 is the current year profit minus transfer to general reserve during the current year 20 minus proposed equity dividend 60 minus proposed preference dividend 24. So it comes to 1 lakh. So 1 lakh is the final profit made during the year. That should go to post-acquisition P&L, because otherwise appropriation has been made to general reserve as well as proposed dividend, that is dividend payable. And આ dividend payable શું છે એ તમને ખબર છે friends? તમને ખ્યાલ છે આ વસ્તુ? જે આ dividend payable છે આ 84, આ મેં તમને પહેલા જ કીધેલું છે કે P&L નો કરન્ટ યર પ્રોફિટ નો છૂટો પડેલો ભાઈ, એટલે આ કરન્ટ યર પ્રોફિટ માંથી અહીંયા અલગ થયો અને પછી આપણે એને પાછો ચાર્ટ વખતે ભેગો કરી દેશું. તો P&L નું આખું એનાલિસિસ ખરેખર આવું થાય છે કે ઓપનિંગ 40 છે એની અને ક્લોઝિંગ એની 140 છે, પણ ડ્યુરિંગ ધ યર નો અત્યારે આપણને 1 લાખ દેખાય છે. હવે આપણે આગળ જઈને એનાલાઇઝ કરવાનું છે કે 96 નું કઈ ડિવિડન્ડ પે થયું હોય તો એની શું હાલત છે ઈ જોઈએ. ચલો હવે આપણે નેક્સ્ટ પોઈન્ટ લઈએ છીએ ક્વેશ્ચન નો. Balance to the, please analyze friends, this is extremely important. Balance to the P&L account of Y as on 1/1/97 was after providing for dividend on preference shares and 10% equity dividend which were paid in cash by Y in May 97. Friends, કોઈ કહી શકે આ શું છે? ડિવિડન્ડ તો એક વખત તો આવી ગયું બેલેન્સ શીટમાં અને આપણે પ્રોવાઈડ એ કર્યું. હવે એમ કહે છે બેલેન્સ to the P&L account of Y as on 1/1/97. That is here. See, this is the balance particularly. देखिए आप, यह जो बैलेंस है इसकी बात कर रहे हैं ये लोग. यह जो 40,000 है 1/1/97 बरोबर, and here it is being told specifically that this particular balance to the P&L account of Y as on 1/1/97, that is 40,000, was after providing for dividend on preference and 10% equity dividend which were paid in cash by Y in May 97. Can anyone point out by unmuting themselves that what is this? How many dividends are there? Here also they have made a provision for dividend, and now they are telling, here I have explained you this dividend 84 has been declared and paid from 2,04,000 current year. Then this 40,000, it has been told that the balance of P&L of 40,000 is after making provision of dividend which has been paid in cash in 97. That dividend is 10% equity and rate of preference dividend is not given naturally because it is implied and it is always fixed. Can anyone come to chat room or can anyone point out that particular detail C is for which type of dividend or which year's dividend? Okay, last year નું dividend જે declare last year થયું હોય. Okay, બરોબર. બીજા કોઈ? Anyone else? કોઈ કહેવા માંગે છે ભાઈ? એક જ મિનિટ. Proposed dividend less થઈ ગયું હશે. Interim dividend છે. Mid dividend હોય. Okay. ભાઈ આ બધાને એક કામ કરશો, આ જેટલા લોકો છો એક કામ કરવું પડશે તમારે. બીજા હજી ચલો કહી દો જેને કહેવાનું હોય. આ શું કહેવા માંગે છે? આ એમ કહે છે કે 1/1/97 ની જે બેલેન્સ છે ને ઈ એમાંથી ઈ પર્ટિક્યુલર બેલેન્સ ડિવિડન્ડ ડિક્લેર કર્યા પછીની છે અને ઈ જે ડિવિડન્ડ ડિક્લેર કર્યું મે 97 માં પે થયું. આ બધા જ લોકો ઘરે ખાલી પપ્પાને ખાલી એટલું કહેશો મારા વતી કે અમને એક ફેરવીને ઝાપટ મારો હો, અને મને બને તો ફોટો મોકલજો એનો. જો આવું છે ફ્રેન્ડ્સ, આ તમે ફરીથી વાંચો એકવાર. બેલ આ શું કહે છે પ્લીઝ, બહુ ક્લિયર છે આ. Balance to P&L account of Y as on 1197 was after providing for dividend on preference and 10% equity. When they are talking, friends, please remember, my friends, if they are talking about 1197 P&L, that is opening P&L, and they are giving us a hint that this dividend is after this particular P&L is after providing some dividend, then they are pointing out towards dividend for the year 96. They are pointing out for the dividend. They are pointing out towards dividend for the year 96. That means they are talking about pre-acquisition dividend. Please, pre-acquisition dividend. And one more thing, it has been told. That means what happened? That Y Limited has declared total dividend of 40,000 on equity and 24 on preference. So total 64,000 dividend for the year 96 has been declared by Y, declared and paid by Y in the year 97, say for example, or rather at least paid by Y in the year 97 during May 97. That means dividend for the year 96 to the extent of 40,000 on equity and 24 on preference has been paid by Y in May 97, and it has been told that the opening P&L on 1197 is after making provision of this dividend. Opening P&L as on 1197 is after making provision of this dividend. That means what does it mean? ચલો હજી કાંઈ હજી કેવું હોય તમારે, આનો મતલબ હજી શું થાય, આની અસર હવે તો ક્યાં પડશે? હવે આપણે જોવું પડે કે એક્સ લિમિટેડ ના ડિવિડન્ડ મળ્યું તો હશે, પણ એને શું કર્યું એક તો એ જોવું પડે. આ સિવાય ફ્રેન્ડ્સ જોવો તમે, એક બહુ જ મહત્વની વસ્તુ અહીંયા આવીને ઊભી રહી ગઈ કે યુ ડોન્ટ નીડ ટુ કેલ્ક્યુલેટ રિવાઇઝ ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ. જો કાંઈ કીધું ન હોય તો આ ડિવિડન્ડ ઓપનિંગ P&L માંથી ડિક્લેર થયું હોય, બરોબર છે, પણ રિવાઇઝ ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ ફાઇન કરવી પડશે નહીં, એટલો જ ખાલી પોઈન્ટ છે બસ. બાકી 96 નું ડિવિડન્ડ 97 માં પે થયું છે, એટલે એક્સ માટે પ્રી એક્વિઝિશન ડિવિડન્ડ થાય. હવે એક્સ એ શું કર્યું એ આપણે પછી જોઈએ. ચલો તો આખું ક્લિયર થયું ભાઈ, આ શું કહેવા માંગે છે. અચ્છા, તો તમને એમ થાય કે ભાઈ આ વખતનું ડિવિડન્ડ તો 84 છે અને ઓલું કેમ 64 આવ્યું? તો જો એનોય તમને અહીંયા આન્સર મળશે. આ વખતે એને ઇક્વિટી ઉપર છે ને, તમે ચેક કરો છો, ઇક્વિટી એની 4 lakhs ની છે. 96 માં એને ઇક્વિટી ઉપર 10% આપ્યું એટલે 40,000 ને પ્રેફરન્સ તો ફિક્સ જ હોય 24, એટલે 96 નું 97 માં જે આપ્યું એ ટોટલ થયું 40 + 24 64. વેરેઝ 97 માં ને 97 માં 31 ડિસેમ્બર 97 ને કરન્ટ યર નું ડિવિડન્ડ ડિક્લેર કરી દીધું, ઈ 15% કર્યું છે, અને ઇક્વિટી નું 15% કર્યું એટલે ઈ થયું 60, અને પ્રેફરન્સ નું તો સેમ જ રહે 24 એટલે 84, એટલે ફિગર અલગ આવે છે. પણ 96 માં ઇક્વિટી નું 40 અને પ્રેફરન્સ નું 24, એને 96 નું ઇક્વિટી નું 40 અને પ્રેફરન્સ નું 24 અને 97 ના મે મહિનામાં પે કર્યું. અને એમ કે છે કે 1197 ની જે P&L ની ઓપનિંગ છે ઈ આ પેમેન્ટ જે કર્યું એના ડિક્લેરેશન પછીની છે, એટલે કે એના પ્રોવિઝન પછીની છે, એટલે ટોટલ જે છે 64 પછીની છે. નહીં તો આ 1,04,000 હોત જો કાંઈ કીધું ન હોત આપણને, તો આ એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ ન હોત તો એના 1,04,000 આપવી પડે, પણ એને ચોખ્ખું કહી દીધું, તો આપણે હવે રિવાઇઝ ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ ગોતવાનો એક પોઈન્ટ આમાં જરૂર રહેશે નહીં. પણ ફ્રેન્ડ્સ પ્લીઝ જોવો, હવે બે વસ્તુ ફરીથી એકવાર જોવો, એમાં જરાય કન્ફ્યુઝન ન થાય. પ્રિયંકા અને મની, કૃષ્ણા, સોજિત્રા બે આના ઉપર ધ્યાન આપજો બરોબર, તમે ખાસ કરીને કૃષ્ણા. જો શું થાય છે બેટા, આમાં આ જે છે ને, આ જે 60 + 24 છે, આ 97 નું ડિવિડન્ડ છે. આ 97 એટલે કરન્ટ યર નું ડિવિડન્ડ ખાલી ડિક્લેર થયું છે, પે નથી થયું, અને ઈ પણ 31 ડિસેમ્બર 97 એ બોર્ડ ઓફ ડિરેક્ટરે ડિક્લેર કરી દીધું છે. જ્યારે આ ડિવિડન્ડ નો જે ઇનડાયરેક્ટ રેફરન્સ છે એ 96 નું ડિવિડન્ડ 97 માં ડિક્લેર થયું છે, અહીંયા શું છે, અહીંયા જે છે એ 97 નું ડિવિડન્ડ છે, કરંટ યર નું ડિવિડન્ડ છે, આ 60 + 24 કરંટ યર નું જ છે, અને એટલે માટે જ બેલેન્સ શીટમાં પેયેબલ તરીકે બોલે છે. જ્યારે અહીંયા જે રેફરન્સ છે પર્ટિક્યુલરલી જસ્મીન, આ જે રેફરન્સ છે આખો, આ છે 96 નું ડિવિડન્ડ જે 97 માં પે થયું છે. એટલે આ પ્રી એક્વિઝિશન ડિવિડન્ડ થાય એક્સ માટે, જ્યારે ઓલું બેલેન્સ શીટ વાળું ડિવિડન્ડ છે એ ચાર્ટમાં જાય. બે વચ્ચેનો ગેપ સમજી લ્યો. બરોબર. ચલો પછી શું કહે છે, નો એન્ટ્રીઝ હેવ બીન મેડ ઇન ધ બુક્સ ઓફ એક્સ લિમિટેડ ફોર ડિબેન્ચર ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ ડ્યુ ઓર ફોર પ્રપોઝડ ડિવિડન્ડ ઓફ વાય ફોર ધ યર એન્ડેડ ઓન 31st December 97. તો એ આપણે કરવી પડશે. Mutual indebtedness of 24,000 is reflected in the balances shown in the balance sheet, individual balance sheet. It means in creditors there may be 24,000 payable to another company, and in debtors 24 receivable. They have not made clarification, but it means only one thing, that when we create consolidated balance sheet, from creditors we will deduct 24 and from debtors we will deduct 24. Who is in a position to recover and who is liable to pay, that is not specifically given, but in a way it has been said that intercompany owing is 24,000, and so we are supposed to eliminate this intercompany owing when we prepare the consolidated balance sheet. Why in October 97 issued fully paid up bonus shares in the ratio of 1 shares for every 4 shares held by utilizing GR. This was not recorded in the books of both the companies. Now as we know, બે કંપની આ રેકોર્ડ કર્યું નથી. જો Y એકે નો કર્યું હોય તો X એ કર્યું જ ન હોય. બરોબર, એમ માનીને આપણે ચાલવાનું. પણ અહીંયા એને ચોખ્ખું મેન્શન કર્યું છે કે this was not recorded in the books of both the companies. કોઈ આની અસર દેવાની નથી. તો ફ્રેન્ડ્સ આ કેસમાં particularly understand this thing, કે જો એને કાંઈ અસર કોઈ આપી નથી તો આપણે પણ એને ઇગ્નોર જ કરીએ છીએ. કાલે મેં તમને આખું point to point સમજાવ્યું હતું કે if we give effect or if we do not give effect, it will not make any difference, and that's why here also we'll ignore, and I already explained, and that's why today we are not going to repeat the whole thing. If we give effect, if we do not give effect, the chart of Y, even if pre-acquisition and post-acquisition segregation remains absolutely same. X Limited received the equity and preference dividend for the year 96, declared and paid by Y in May 97 and credited to its P&L account. Now if you have leaflet in front of you, all those who have leaflet in front of you, kindly rectify this detail G in leaflet. એમાં કદાચ પૂરી છપાણી નથી એટલા માટે. So if you have the hard copy of leaflet in front of you, એમાં એક sentence skip થઈ ગયું છે એટલા માટે, તો એ ચેક કરી લ્યો. હાર્ડ કોપી જો લીફલેટ ની હોય તો જરાક ચેક કરી લેજો અને એમાં આ રીતે નોંધી લેજો, અથવા અત્યારે લખી લ્યો અને પછી હાર્ડ કોપી ઓફ લીફલેટમાં ડિટેલ G આમ લખવાની રહેશે. એમાં ખાલી એમ જ લખ્યું છે કે X Limited received the same and credited to its P&L account, but what has been received એ implied છે પણ છતાં સ્પેસિફાઈ થવું જોઈએ. X Limited received the equity and preference dividend for the year 96, declared and paid by Y in May 97. અહીંયા મારે ખાલી આપણે ચેન્જ કરી નાખી, ખાલી પેઇડ બાય વાય, બીકોઝ અહીંયા એનો રેફરન્સ એટલો જ છે કે પેઇડ બાય વાય, ડિક્લેર નો કોઈ રેફરન્સ નથી. તો પેઇડ બાય વાય ઇન May 97 and credited it to its P&L account. Please analyze friends. X Limited received equity and preference 96 નું જે એને મળ્યું મે માં, ઈ એને as usual P&L માં લીધું. 96 માં ઇક્વિટી નું 40,000 અને પ્રેફરન્સ નું 24 ગયું છે. એના 75% X નો ભાગ છે, એટલે ઇક્વિટી નું 40 એના 75% એટલે 30,000 અને પ્રેફરન્સ નું 24 એના 75% એટલે 18,000, એટલે 30 + 18 48,000 નું ટોટલ ડિવિડન્ડ X ને મળ્યું છે જે એને એના P&L માં ક્રેડિટ આપ્યું છે. અને that is a wrong thing, so we are supposed to rectify. From the above information, you are required to prepare the consolidated balance sheet of X and its subsidiary Y as on 31st December 97. All working obviously shall form part of our answer, my lord, because without working how can we solve the question? તો ચલો હવે મને કયો ફ્રેન્ડ્સ, આ મીટિંગ તો જાણે પૂરી થવા આવી. મને એક વસ્તુ કયો બધા, ફર્સ્ટ ઓફ ઓલ કે have you understood the sum properly? Have you understood the sum properly, friends? If you need, if you can get a screenshot or something like that, if you don't have the leaflet in front of you, then should we proceed for the answer? Do we need to discuss any adjustment further? Then do let me know. First of all, as far as the question is concerned. So friends, I am concluding this meeting, and kindly join the next meeting in which we will discuss the answer. Please come to the next meeting because only 7 minutes are pending in this meeting. And so let us end this meeting and let us join the another bus with another driver, not with the same driver, sorry. Yeah, now it's the time to analyze the answer of question number 3 of leaflet, as I told, which was asked in CA final exam for full-fledged 16 marks. So let us analyze. Working note 1 is treatment of pre-acquisition dividend received by X from Y. Y Limited declared and paid 10% equity dividend and 12% preference dividend for the year 90. Oh yeah, here also there is a thing which we need to change. First of all, let us keep it like this. Y Limited paid 10% equity and 12% preference for the year 96 during May 97. Now this is important. See, please note that the opening balance of P&L account of Y as on 1197 of rupees 40,000 is after providing for dividend on equity and preferences for the year 96. So no need to find out revised opening balance of P&L account. It is specifically mentioned. No need to find out revised opening balance of P&L account. Dividend declared and paid by Y, total 64. Why? Because 10% equity. So 4 lakhs multiplied by 10%, 40,000 plus preference 12% of 2 lakhs, 24,000. It means Y Limited declared and paid both dividends out of profit earned by it during 96 when X Limited has not acquired any shares in it. That is but obvious. But opening balance of P&L is after providing for this dividend, and so we don't need to get the revised opening balance in this case. As dividend was declared during May 97, here also I need to change that thing only, that as dividend was paid. That is the only thing. Paid during May 97. It might have been declared also during 97 only, but it has been here clearly given in the question that it has been paid in 97 May when X Limited was holding. Now what happened? As dividend was paid during May 97 when X Limited was holding 75% stake in equity as well as preferences of Y. X received dividend. Main check it. X was a shareholder, so it got the benefit. X received 48,000. Why 48,000? Because 40,000 was the total equity multiplied by 75% stake of X. So it comes to 30,000 equity. Then 24,000 total preference multiplied by 75% stake of X. And so it's going to be 18,000. So total 48,000 in form of dividend. X Limited received dividend from that profit of Y earned by Y at the time when X Limited did not hold any shares in Y. So this is a pre-acquisition dividend for X Limited and should be treated as a capital receipt and should be credited to investment in Y account by X Limited. હવે કથા તમને મોઢે થઈ ગઈ હશે એટલા આપણે કેસ જોયા છે. Entry which should have been passed by X Limited for recording pre-acquisition dividend. For X Limited, it's a pre-acquisition dividend and should be recorded in the following manner. Bank account debit 48, to equity dividend 30, to preference dividend 18, equity dividend 30, preference dividend 18, to investment in equity shares of Y 30,000, to investment in preference shares of Y 18. These entries should have been passed, as you all know. Wrong entry actually passed, but X Limited has passed following entry wrongly and wrongly recorded this pre-acquisition dividend. Bank account debit 48, to equity dividend 30, to preference dividend 18,000, equity dividend account debit 30,000, preference dividend account debit 18,000, to P&L account. This is wrong, absolutely wrong. 48. rectification entry to be passed. That what we need to do while consolidating. P&L account debit 48,000 to investment in equity shares of Y, 30,000 to investment in preference shares of Y, 18,000. Okay. Now treatment while making CBS. Opening balance of P&L account of Y. Particulars. Opening balance of P&L account of Y given in the question 40,000. Less. Dividend for the year 96 declared and paid during May 97 not to be deducted, as opening balance is after deducting this dividend, and so it is not deducted. This is nil. This thing you don't need to show, but I have involved this thing over here just to remind you again and again that the opening balance of P&L is after providing for the last year's dividend, and so you don't need to revise the opening balance. So here I have not used the word revise opening, but I have used the word opening balance of P&L of Y given in the question to be considered as it is while preparing chart. That comes to 40,000. 40,000, my friends. Treatment while making CBS. Pre-acquisition equity dividend wrongly credited in P&L account is 30,000. Liability side, deduct from P&L account of X while consolidating P&L of X with Y. And asset side, deduct from cost of investment of X in equity of Y while calculating goodwill or capital reserve. That means first get revised cost of investment, then compare the revised cost of investment with pre-acquisition balance of X in equity of Y, and then only get the goodwill or capital reserve. Pre-acquisition preference dividend wrongly credited to P&L 18,000. Liability side, deduct from P&L account of X while consolidating P&L account of X along with Y. On asset side, deduct from cost of investment of X in preference shares of Y, get the revised cost of investment, then compare the revised cost of investment with pre-acquisition balance of X in preference of Y, and then get the goodwill or capital reserve. Now this is our working note 2. Kindly analyze that. Kano Bay Kana base. Yeah. X holds 250 debentures in Y out of total 500 debentures issued by Y. It means X holds 50% of the total debenture issued by Y. Total outstanding debentures interest of Y is 5,000 only. Yeah, in this case, out of this 50% is payable to X. X Limited has not yet recorded this interest receivable from Y amounting to rupees 2,500. That is 5,000 multiplied by 50%, because out of 5,000 debentures totally issued by Y, out of 500 debenture, out of 500 debenture, in terms of number it is 500 debentures of 100 each. So out of total 500 debentures issued by Y, total 250 debentures are held by X. So X holds 50% stake. So out of total debenture interest outstanding of rupees 5,000, obviously 50%, that is 2,500 payable to X, and X has not recorded. So now let us compel X to record. So while preparing CBS, X Limited shall pass following entry in its individual book. Interest receivable account debit 2,500 to P&L account. Effect while preparing CBS. First effect, add rupees 2,500 in P&L account of X while consolidating P&L of X with Y. ખરેખર X ના P&L માં પહેલેથી એડ કરી શકાય, પણ આપણે એને consolidation of P&L વખતે merge કરી દઈ છીએ એમાં કે ભાઈ X ને આ 2,500 આપી દો. Second effect, create interest receivable account in the books of X to the extent of rupees 2,500. Okay, analyze this thing. See, then let's move forward. Third effect while preparing CBS. At liability side, while showing interest payable of Y of rupees 5,000 in CBS, deduct interest receivable by X of rupees 2,500 and show net figure of 2,500 only as other current liability under the head current liability. જ્યારે આપણે balance sheet બનાવીએ ત્યારે, at asset side, while showing receivable of X Limited of rupees 2,500, while showing interest receivable of X Limited of rupees 2,500. Yeah, interest receivable of X of rupees 2,500 in CBS. Deduct interest payable by Y to X to the extent of 2,500 and show the net figure of 0 as other current assets under the heading current assets. So our final figure આવી ગયો જ્યારે આપણે balance sheet બનાવી. Should I move forward, friends? क्यों मने चलो आया सुधी क्लियर छो कई रिपीट करना मांगता बे जना मोदी नु लेक्चर जोवा भागी गया आम थोड़ू हाले ने मोदी थोड़ो भेगो आवવાનો सीए एग्जाम में ओके रिपीट करना मांगता एमा यस क्यों छो ओके फाइन चलो लेट्स मूव फॉरवर्ड फ्रेंड्स now this is what is this Gathian this વર્કિંગ નોટ 3 એ રીતે તમે એને બતાવી શકો છો અધરવાઇઝ તમે તમારી રીતે સક્ષમ છો નંબર આપવા માટે ફ્રેન્ડ્સ આ તો જસ્ટ એક બતાવી રહ્યો છું during October 97 Y Limited declared bonus shares at the rate 1 shares for every 4 shares held by capitalizing its GR balance. This is implied available on 1197 but no effect has been given in the books of Y. As Y Limited has not yet given any effect of bonus issue in its individual balance sheet while preparing CBS, bonus issue shall be completely ignored. That's all. So bonus we are absolutely ignoring. And here it is clearly mentioned, and that was, you can say over here that, let us keep it like this. Let us change from Y to both the companies so as to remove any further doubt. But otherwise, if Y has not given any effect, it is deemed that X has also not given any effect for that in its balance sheet. But still, let us be very clear. During October 97, Y Limited declared bonus shares at the rate 1 shares for every 4 shares held by capitalizing its GR balance on 1197, but no effect has yet been given in the books of both the companies, as both companies has not yet given any effect of bonus issue in its individual balance sheet. In there કરી નાખીએ આપણે individual balance sheet. While preparing CBS, bonus issue shall be completely ignored. તમને ખ્યાલ છે જો ધ્યાનમાં લઈએ તો પણ કોઈ ફેર પડતો નથી. Analysis of general reserve of Y as on 31st December 97. હવે જો આમાં છે ને ક્લોઝિંગ બેલેન્સ તો 2 લાખ છે અને મેં આ રીતે બતાવ્યું છે ટ્રાન્સફર ડ્યુરિંગ ધ યર પર્ટિક્યુલરલી આપેલું છે પણ ઓપનિંગ પણ આપેલી છે એટલે તમે કોઈ પણ રીતે બતાવો એને અલ્ટિમેટલી ઓપનિંગ પણ આપેલી છે સમમાં 180 ક્લોઝિંગ 2 લાખ છે એટલે 20000 ટ્રાન્સફર ડ્યુરિંગ ધ યર છે પણ ટ્રાન્સફર ડ્યુરિંગ ધ યર અલગથી આપી હતી અને એટ ધેટ ટાઈમ આઈ કુડ નોટ ફાઇન્ડ ધ ઓપનિંગ બેલેન્સ એટલે ત્યારે મેં એને આ રીતે બનાવેલું હવે આપણે એને ચેન્જ કરવું હોય તો પણ કરી શકીએ બરોબર એટલે જે આપણે રૂટીન વેમાં કરીશી ઈ આ છે પર્ટિક્યુલરલી opening balance is same way you can show it. Okay, any way you show, there is no problem. 180, and this is over here what we call Thomas Alva addition during the year is year. Yeah. અને પછી આખા ગામને હવે ખબર છે આનું શું થાય બરોબર એનાલિસિસ આપણે રૂટીનમાં જ કન્વર્ટ કરી નાખ્યું કે ક્લોઝિંગ 2 લાખ છે ઓપનિંગ આપેલી છે 180 So addition during the 20 જે આપણને બેલેન્સ માં ટેલી પણ થાય છે ક્વેશ્ચન માં. Opening balance of GR of 180 shall go to pre-acquisition, whereas addition during the year of rupees 20 shall go to post-acquisition balance, because there is a first day acquisition, as all of us know. Analysis of P&L of Y as on 31st December. Closing balance of P&L as on 31st December 97, 140. Opening balance of P&L as given as on given as on 1197, as per question em લખું તમારે, as on 1197 is 40,000. So Thomas Alva during the year is 1 lakh. Opening balance of P&L of 40,000 shall go to pre-acquisition, whereas addition during the year of 1 lakh shall go to post-acquisition. Now it's a chart in front of you. Please, if you have question in front of you, please keep on analyzing, friends. Equity share capital of Y 4 lakhs, pre-acquisition, post-acquisition nil. General reserve 180 and 20. P&L account 40 and 1 lakh in post. And equity dividend payable wholly in post, that is 60,000. And so the total of pre-acquisition is 620, whereas total of post-acquisition comes to 180. 620, 180, and that's why it is 8 lakhs. Once again, if you have balance sheet in front of you, kindly keep it and analyze. Equity share capital of Y 4 lakhs in pre-acquisition, post-acquisition nil. Opening balance of general reserve of Y is 180, closing is 2 lakhs, and that's why 20 is allotted to post-acquisition balance, 20,000. Then P&L account opening balance is 40, that is after dividend of 96, and that's why it is already revised, and so we have taken it as it is 40. And the closing balance of P&L given in the question is 140, and so addition during there is 1 lakh, that will be only go to post-acquisition period. And from out of proposed dividend, here you can use the word even proposed dividend, but here we have assumed that the dividend has been proposed on 31st December 97 only, and that the whole proposed equity dividend is gone to post-acquisition. The reason is X Limited acquired stake in Y on first day of the accounting year. So the total of chart is 620 and 180. Total of pre-acquisition part of chart is 620. Total of post-acquisition part of chart is 180. And the final total of the chart is 8 lakhs. Now these 8 lakhs will be segregated between X and minorities. Yeah, now this is the final part of chart. Out of total 8 lakhs, 75% goes to H Limited, so it's 6 lakhs, and minorities interest as far as equity is concerned 2 lakhs. And then H Limited's amount will be segregated in pre-post. Then total 620 is the total of the pre-acquisition part of chart, and so 75% will go to pre-acquisition, and so it's 465. This 465, friends, shall be compared with revised cost of investment. Please record this 465. Post-acquisition is 135. That is 180 multiplied by 75%, 135. Out of GR, total post-acquisition GR is 20,000. So 20,000 multiplied by 75% is 15,000. And total post-acquisition P&L, if you analyze, is 160. And 160 multiplied by 75%. So it comes to 120. So 120 plus 15, it's 135. 135 plus 165 or 465, okay. It's gonna be 6 lakhs, and 6 plus 2, 8 lakhs. So total of the chart is telling. This is equity chart. Now let us go and get the preference chart. Preference share capital of Y, 2 lakhs in pre-acquisition, post-acquisition nil, and the total preference dividend payable by Y is 24, and that will completely go to post-acquisition as the acquisition took place on the first day. And so the total of the chart is 2,24,000. Out of 224, 75% belongs to H and 25% belongs to minority. So X, okay. कभी कभी मुझे इस V के पे शक होता है. Yeah. Out of, yeah, total 20, 224, 75% belongs to X, 25% belongs to minority, and it's 168 and 56. Out of 168 pre-acquisition part, 2 lakhs multiplied by 75%, so 1.5 lakh. Post-acquisition part, 24,000 multiplied by 75%, so 18,000. And so finally, the P&L, preference dividend payable, that will absolutely go to P&L, that is 18,000. And this 1.5 lakh will be settled against cost of investment of X in preference of Y, after revising, obviously, the cost of investment of preference of Y. So now let's move forward, friends. Calculation of goodwill or capital reserve for equity, pre-acquisition balance of X in Y, 465, cost of investment by X in Y, 4.5 lakh, analyze in question, minus 30,000 pre-acquisition dividend chema. And that's why the revised cost of investment is 420. So 465 pre-acquisition balance of X in Y, revised cost of investment is 420. Please, friends, if you have not pen, record this capital reserve of 45,000. But this is only for equity. Now let's move for preference. Chalo. Equity niche. Pre-acquisition balance of X in Y 465. Cost of investment 450 minus 30,000 pre-acquisition dividends of 420 is revised cost of investment, and that is compared with the pre-acquisition balance of X in Y 465. And so 465 pre-acquisition balance is higher than the revised cost of investment. It means, X Limited has gained, and so it is a capital reserve to the extent of 45,000. Calculation of goodwill or capital reserve for preference shares, particulars amount, pre-acquisition balance of X in Y's preference, 1.5 lakh. Cost of investment made by X in Y's preference is 180 minus 18,000 pre-acquisition preference dividend. So revised cost of investment is 162 for preference. Now it is compared with the pre-acquisition balance. So there is a 12,000 which is goodwill. Yeah, sorry, આ પ્રશ્ન હતો પ્રિયંકાને અને કૃષ્ણાને, મને ઓલો યાદ રહી ગયો તો, કોક બીજાએ મને પૂછ્યો તો ડિવિડન્ડ વાળો. આ ક્વેશ્ચન જોવો બધા, સેટ ઓફ ગુડવિલ અગેન્સ્ટ કેપિટલ રિઝર્વ્સ. આ એક બનાવી શકો તમે આવું. Capital reserves equity stake 45, goodwill preference stake 12, and so capital reserves in CBS will sustain as capital reserve is greater than goodwill. Goodwill will be set off against capital reserve, and finally the capital reserve of 33,000 will be shown in the CBS. Please analyze 33,000. Record this figure of capital reserve now. Final figure in CBS 33. 33 આપણે રેકોર્ડ કરીએ કારણ કે consolidated reserves માં પણ આપણે એનો યુઝ કરવો પડશે. Calculation of profit or loss due to investment in debentures. You can go ahead with another working note. Face value of investment 250 debentures of rupees 100 each. So it's going to be 25,000. Cost of investment is also 25, friends. Face value of the investment 25,000. Cost of investment is also 25, so profit or loss is nil. So nothing is to be settled for debenture. Out of total debenture of Y, debentures of rupees 25,000 have been cancelled against cost of investment of X in Y, and remaining debentures of Y of 25,000 shall be shown as a long-term borrowing in CBS. Consolidated GR and P&L. Next point. Holding companies balance 360 and 240. Share of H in, okay, અહીંયા આપણે લેવું પડશે એને, share of X કરવું પડશે here because there is an X and Y now. Share of X in post acquisition balance of Y, equity. જો GR માં છે 15 post acquisition માં અને P&L છે post acquisition 120 equity માંથી ને preference માં ખાલી post acquisition P&L જ હોય અને ઈ છે proposed dividend નો ભાગો X નો 18 પ્લસ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ રિસીવેબલ. તમને યાદ કરાવી દઉં, જે X એ રેકોર્ડ કરવાનું હતું એ P&L માં આવી જવું જોઈએ 2500 minus pre-acquisition equity dividend 30 minus pre-acquisition preference dividend 18 less investment in debenture of S. Yeah, તો અહીંયા આપણે કરવું પડે add or less whatever. હવે જે હોય પણ આમાં કઈ નથી આપણને ખબર છે એટલે જ આપણે આમ કર્યું છે. add or less investment in debentures of Y limited, profit loss, that is nil. And so the final figure that you are supposed to show in CBS is 375 and 332 500. Friends, please record this. 375 plus 332 500 plus 33,000. And so the consolidated reserves, that because here notes to FS that you will have to prepare. So consolidated reserve, when you prepare, first of all you can show consolidated GR 375 plus consolidated P&L 332 500 plus capital reserves 33,000, sorry. And so the final figure of consolidated reserves is 7,40,500. Finally, minority interest in equity 2 lakhs and minority interest in preference 56. So total minority interest in CBS is up tak 256 minority interest. Consolidated balance sheet of X and its subsidiary Y is on 31st December 97. ગામડા કેપિટલ સોરી શેર કેપિટલ ટોટલ આમાં ખાલી x ની ઇક્વિટી જ બચે છે, બીજું કાંઈ બચતું નથી. x ના પ્રેફરન્સ તો છે નહીં, એટલે x is equity 8 lakhs. These consolidated reserves, friends, please record 740,500. Again, let me remind, 33,000 is capital reserve plus 375 is consolidated GR plus 332 500 is consolidated P&L. So it's 740,500. Minority interest 256. Long-term borrowing only debenture of Y, but net 25,000 only. 50,000 minus 25,000. So 25,000 net. Current liabilities, there are mutual indebtedness which is deducted 620 minus 24. So it's going to be 644. 620 minus 24. So it's going to be 596. Now, what is short-term provision? Let me remind you. This is equity dividend for the year 97 of X Limited. This is proposed equity dividend for the year 97 of X Limited. 120 only. Only X. Y's proposed dividend are settled in the charts. X's proposed equity dividend. X does not have preference shares. So there is no preference dividend proposed for X, but only equity dividend proposed by X, and that is available in the individual balance sheet. If you have individual balance sheet in front of you, you can very well correlate. It's 120. And finally, other current liabilities, outstanding interest 5,000 minus 2,500. This is receivable by X, you can show. And so ultimately it's 2,500 net figure is shown. And so the balance sheet total is 25,40,000. Over here, if you want to show it, because we have got a space. Yeah, and now let us move forward with the asset side, which is really very, very tiny. Assets, non-current assets, fixed assets, and I have assumed that all fixed assets are tangible. And so the total only I have kept, total of the both companies' fixed assets is 19,04,000. Whereas current assets have been treated as a trade receivables because there is a adjustment for that. So total current assets 2.6 lakhs plus 4 lakhs minus 24,000. It's 6,36,000. And in other current assets, investment interest receivable, sorry, 2,500 minus 2,500 payable by Y. And so it is to be shown as nil. And so the total of the balance sheet is very easily available over here. 1904 plus 636. So it's 25,40. That's all, friends. Khali notes tamare ek hathe banavi padse ama. So I kindly urge all of you to make it on your own. So here we conclude this particular leaflet question 3. Absolutely.